It's not a problem. Hello today. This is Alan Wagner at Founders HQ. We have a gentleman that is a founder of a company that's called COCREA, and this is a company that works with different organization teams, individuals to accompany them in the process of transformation, development, and confrontation with a world which is changing at previously unknown speed and intensity. This is interesting. The definition of COCREA. It's a living framework with the objective of transforming a context of command and control into a context of potential, giving back to every human being the choice and responsibility to enhance his own qualities by going beyond his or her ego. And I think Clement is a perfect example of someone who is working towards that objective and has achieved a high level of success with his company and in his personal life. And it's great to have him as a guest. So I'd like to introduce Clement, and we'll get started here.
Thank you, Alan. Good morning.
Yeah, my pleasure. Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you very much
So
for being here with you.
it's a pleasure. I'm curious. Okay, co-crea. It's an amazing statement. A word that's powerful. What inspired you to use that as your company
Well,
name and so forth?
well, the very basic of success, we believe, is whatever we define as success, and this is a very individual definition, but we believe the very basic of success is working together. And most of the time, working together is difficult because we are in a dynamic of being triggered and reactions, and most of it is automatic. It's our automatic behavior, and this prevents people from working together truly, which leads eventually to co-creating in this very complex world. Unlike a few years ago, I mean, where leaders could do it just themselves, could do it alone in this context, and it will be more and more dramatic. Working together is essential. So learning to understand, to be conscious, to be aware of our triggers, of our hidden triggers, which due to our grown personality are hindrances and lead to behaviors that are counterproductive in respect to what we want as adults. These triggers are usually childhood inheritances. They are beliefs we have grown, we have formed during childhood, and they still are present in our being, in our unconscious. And these beliefs lead to some emotions, and these emotions lead to some behaviors which sometimes are not aligned with what we want as grown-up people. And I'll give you a very, very simple example. I mean, you and I, as kids, there's a rainy day. I'm sorry, there's a snowy day. Okay, it was more dramatic.
More dramatic, yeah.
Day, and you and I, as kids, go out and play with the snow. You are well covered, you are well dressed, and you play with the snow, and you slide it around, and snowballs and snowmen, and you have a lot of fun. So the imprint with you is that snow is fun. I, on my side, go out and I kind of slip and I hurt myself, and get all wet, and people throw snowball at me, and it's even worse, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And so my imprint, unlike yours, is that snow is dangerous. Snow is unpleasant, to say the least. So I will carry this belief with me most of my life. this is a very
On a
this is a sample
almost
of
a sub.
belief. So, as a grown up, when it snows, my emotion is of defense, is not of opening. And so I will defend myself from that outside event, whatever the event may be. Events can be more dramatic or even less dramatic. I've chosen the less dramatic on purpose,
Yes, yes.
But that will impact my behavior, and my behavior as a grown-up is a defensive behavior towards that particular event, and because my belief is there. And so we, in our development, in our evolution as human beings, and in my evolution as a human being, I've had the chance to encounter the possibility to understand what is a belief, what is a childhood belief. Still working, I mean, at my early age, still working on my emotions. So what kind of emotion that belief creates in me, and therefore, what kind of behavior does it trigger? And is that behavior something that I really want as a grown-up person? Am I reacting as a grown-up person, or am I reacting as a 5-year-old boy? Okay, we're not always like that, but there is a lot to do with our behavior, which is an automatic behavior.
And these behaviors, I mean, it's like to reach a level of awareness where you can actually, create change in your behavior. It takes work, right? Do you have some like steps that people should, consider and could possibly, implement in their own lives and businesses?
Yes, there are several ways, several steps, and but it's a journey of growth. It's a journey of evolution, and it's a never-ending story. By the way, I mean, it's not that we do some coaching, we do some seminars, we do whatever we do, and we're done. We're never done. We're never done, and it's like the ego reshapes itself in various forms. And by the ego, just to be clear,
yes,
is
please.
The defense system, biologically, the defense system that our being has formed in early childhood, and that keeps and remains with us throughout our life, which is fantastic. I mean, there is no judgment on the ego. Ego is a biological, natural human being feature, which helps us defend ourselves from dangers, from everything. But it also hides some features that are no more necessary in our adult life.
Yes, and like taking those principles and ideas, how did you find a way to integrate that into the format of what your company is offering to the world? Because now we're talking about not just individuals, we're talking about a collective of individuals that are forming a company or a corporation or something to that effect.
Well, to start with, companies are made by individuals. Notably, the company is, I don't know, I wouldn't like to give you a percentage, but with a great percentage influenced by its head, by its CEO or its, the founder or whatever it is. And the imprint of the company is there. This is what we call, and this is forming what we call the company culture. It's forming beliefs, it's forming hindrances, it's forming difficulties, it's forming its strength as well. I mean, that's a whole lot of thing in there. And so the first focus is the individual. And each individual is equally important. And in order to co-create, in order to be aligned and to be able to understand our reactions and understand our beliefs, if possible. It's not always so easy, but uh, one needs to shed a light on uh, on blind spots, on what our beliefs, emotions, and behaviors are, and be willing to accept that these beliefs are no longer useful.
Absolutely.
It's an automatic thing, and they're not only no longer useful, but they're totally counterproductive. Just to give you
What-
another just to
Go
give
ahead.
another example, authority is a difficult point for most people. Okay, so I'm including myself.
Okay.
Relationship with parents and father, or authority in general, leads us to take a position, a defensive position. So irrelevantly of who you have in front of you, you assume this position, and sometimes you assume this position with the wrong people. So, to be very specific, I may end up reacting to my boss with an automatic behavior, which is a reaction to my father. A reaction to my father is a childhood reaction, number one. It may be part of adolescence, which I have not digested yet, or a lot of things, that are, but it's certainly counterproductive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it leads also to great misunderstandings, because my colleague, my CEO, my wife, my husband do not mean what I interpret.
They don't understand the source of
This is
where
this
that
is
pain is coming from.
my
Or the difficult.
filter. This is my filter. It's my ego filter, which interprets things as something which needs, as an indicator, which needs to defend myself.
So
And
I
then,
just had
of
a.
course, the consequence, of course, the cost is that they are enormous. Relationship costs, time,
Yes.
endless discussions, endless meetings in the companies, and blah blah blah. And of course, waste of time, waste of opportunity, waste of life,
Absolutely.
waste of
So
happiness.
yeah, and I find it interesting that my sense is that a lot of corporations, like you said, it starts with the individual first. A lot of times, companies think like, well, we could change our branding and the way we position ourselves, and we can do all these sort of external things without really ever addressing that the core people that are in the company can't support that vision because they don't have it within themselves.
Our
I
quest
don't.
is, who am I, and what do I want as an adult?
Yeah. So
And
you really push you want to get the individual. It's like you feel like that's the root, and it's going to drive everything else in the business. If they can heal things that are and evolve as a human, and it affects the end result in their companies. Yeah.
Yeah, and that shapes a lot of things. That shapes the company culture, that shapes the collaboration, that shapes acceptance of diversity, that shapes, but most of all, it helps understanding my automatic behavior. Am I an automatic behavior here? Am I at the mercy of what I think is something dangerous when it's not dangerous?
To get to the level of awareness so that you can respond in a different way that's more productive and inclusive and collaborative.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. I have a question. Like, I'm thinking about, like, let's see, if you're seeing what you're doing today, and these are the things. Do these principles? Is this like, no matter how the the environment, the technology changes, the whatever's going on in the world, it's really doesn't change your approach to what you do. Is that accurate? It's like you still have to start where, like with the individual, like you said.
I would say yes. I would say that our approach, my approach, and our approach adapts to. I don't know if changing is a correct definition, but it certainly adapts with everything which is happening, and it is also a great support to be in the present and to be present with what is happening, discerning if what is happening is a real threat or an imaginary threat that our defense mechanisms constructed.
Or an opportunity, depending on your point of view
Well,
of the
either
situation.
way,
Yeah.
thank you for mentioning that word opportunity. Either way, it becomes an opportunity instead of being an hindrance, instead of being a stop, instead of being something that takes you further from what you want, instead of being an opportunity to ride on it and reach what you want, or maybe even understand what you want more clearly, or
Great point.
reach
Yeah.
what you want more quickly.
Now, do you have any like specific examples, like like within COCREA, what like certain clients, certain companies, certain people that you've actually been able to take them from one place and arrive at another place where they've really incorporated your principles in their own beings, and now they're driving their company or business into a new way of incorporating that COCREA.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
We have a lot of examples.
Anyone that comes to mind that you feel
Ethically,
sure.
we don't disclose
No, not names of
of
companies. No, no,
people,
no. Just
but yes,
general idea.
there are several examples, several examples because we started with this methodology, which is a proprietary methodology in well, it started in the early 80s, and in Europe we started it in the early 2000. So it's been like 25 years, we've done it, and in that we worked equally with very large, meaning large corporations,
Sure.
in every sector, mainly finance, and especially finance in this moment, and hospitals, and equally to small medium enterprises, and a lot of entrepreneurs, and the the effect of starting this journey, and notably what our participants define it is a journey with no return. Once you embark in this journey, you cannot pretend. You can choose to change or not to change, or to modify whatever it is, but this is totally individual, of course. But having seen some features, basically, again, I repeat, some beliefs, that are useful, and that you may decide to change them, and when this is adopted by the head of the company, whatever it may be, an entrepreneur or a founder or a CEO, this starts becoming a very important seed in the company, and it is then later voluntarily, because this is it's a very important trait with us. We have very strict checks on being a journey that is voluntary and not being imposed by your CEO, by your boss, by your everything. It cannot be. It cannot be. It's a very voluntary process. And once you start the process, the process is spreading.
And so, with today's changes in world and so forth, what do you see as your biggest challenges moving ahead? And what are you facing right now that that could be considered, something that your company is probably in the top of the mind as far as like, this is what's happening in the world. How are we adapting? How is it affecting your business, COCREA, and so forth?
Well, what comes to mind is that in this moment, speed and the speed of change is becoming faster and faster. And this creates a need of performing better and better. Performing also may lead to control, as you have mentioned before. But performing is in itself, a very positive trait. But if it's not aware, if it's not conscious, it may lead to a lot of stress. And stress is a very important trait in present day with most leaders and with most people, I would say.
Yeah.
We are stressed by a number of things. And so the reaction to this stress is performing, and overperformance. And performance is survival. I mean, it's a survival reaction. So we are at the mercy of surviving. We are at the mercy of performing, and we forget ourselves. So we forget why we do it. We forget a lot of things, and so coming back to ourselves is essential.
Do you see it within your own company that, like you as a leader in the company or some of your colleagues, are they experiencing more stress? Are they have to be impacted to some degree with what's going on, and what are, like, before we jumped on this podcast, you mentioned that meditation you started the day with, and so it was kind of like, wow, that's a powerful centering and kind of grounding practice. So it's like, yeah, if you want to speak on how do you and your team deal with this, and how do you teach others? If that's a good...
In our team, we adopted meditation as and I can talk about myself, but I know it's the same with my teammates and colleagues. And meditation. Well, I've been practicing meditation, and in particular Vipassana, and a lot of meditation for over 45 years. And but apart from that, recently, this practice of meditation is a fantastic practice to recenter, and of course to calm this stress I was talking about. Once you calm down this stress, you see more clearly, you can see yourself more clearly. Of course, again, you need the tools to be able to see what triggers you and what you are at the mercy of, and eventually take decisions. But yes, meditations allows me, and I'll give you an example. When I started this particular meditation, and I'm talking about the beginning of this year, and I've been practicing for many years. Okay?
Yes.
This was a new thing, okay, and it took me maybe a week, 10 days of meditation, and I committed to do it. in order to calm down, in order to really relax my body and relax my mind and calm down. And it took me a week where I was a bit frenzy, you know. Wow, I've got things to do. What I've got here, this is waste of time. This is everything. And then, you know, slowly by practicing, you know, this thing calms down. It calms down. And then practice becomes central.
Incredible. No, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that your practice addresses a lot of things that not only, you know, it impacts your business, but really it impacts you as a person, a human being, which radiates out to others and the people you work with. And
our methodology, which we call transformational leadership, it impacts the human being on a 360-degree level. Some people, most of the people that we approach are professionals. Whenever they go through our process, whenever they go through our journey, they realize that the process impacts the whole of their life, not just, you know, their relationship with the company or their relationship with the colleagues or their relation. No, it impacts their relationship with their children. It impacts their relationships with their wives or husbands or
partners,
partners or relatives, mother, father, that unresolved issues that, you know, have been there and are heavy on their life. Okay, so these need to be somehow cleared out, resolved.
Yes.
Or and each one. So basically, our journey opens up spaces, for the individual, in order for the individual to have more freedom of choice. Because if you are trapped into a belief which has no issue, then you're trapped there. If you open up different spaces, if you open up different, then that may become an opportunity instead of becoming an issue. So
I love it.
Yeah. So
it's
for most of us, and I believe all of us, but for myself, you know, to start with, I started doing this work as my own personal evolution, you know, a good 20 years before I started facilitating, or before I started.
Yes, that's the last question. Yeah, that's the one question I want to know. That's an interesting word. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's the humility. I love it. I mean, I think that wow. Wonderful. Well, it's been, Clement, it's been a joy and a very enlightening conversation for myself and for the listeners out there. And I think your business and your life are continually going to get to another level and another level. And it's always, yeah, go ahead. Sure. You go for it. Yes. Okay. Okay. Just safe. Yeah. I like that. Yes. It's limiting. Yeah. It's also, yeah. Yeah. And worked away. That's wonderful. Yeah. And that's where it really matters. Yeah. Yes. Clement, pleasure. I really appreciate this, and I want to have continued conversation. You're welcome anytime back, and we'll just keep riding this wave. I thank you. Absolutely. Bye-bye.